All right, let's do this thing. How's it going, everybody? We tried to move the stream so that I wasn't responsible for the market dumps. And here we are. The guy in the White House just couldn't help himself. Just couldn't help himself. And here we are. I don't even know. I know roughly what he said, but I don't even know what triggered this necessarily other than tariff threats again. Obviously, valuations are what they are, and et cetera, but come on. We haven't had a down day in a while. There's always something to point to in retrospect that you can say, but that stuff can extend for a long period of time, as it has for years, right? Just is what it is. Catch-up trade? I don't know about that. So, if you want me to look at anything, let me know. We got the LT Grays hat on today, the baseball cats. The Phillies got knocked out. I'm pretty sad about that. But if you don't swing the bat, you can blame the umpire, you can blame Kirkring, but ultimately, if you don't score runs, you're giving chances and opportunities for stuff like that to happen. So it is what it is. For the Phillies, let's catch up here. So that's the question I think everybody's asking here is, it's supposed to be October, supposed to be bullish. Bitcoin's up on the year, but not as much as you'd expect it to be this deep in the cycle. It's up over the past X number of years. It's done well. We weren't correlating as much on the up days. We're certainly correlating with legacy on the down days. What else is there to say? The other part of this is we're so deep in the cycle. Assuming you're even pro cycle, some people are just some people are anti-cycle now. And my whole thing is, I don't know, we'll see. Like, you can't say the cycles are over till they're over, right? Like, if we break 110, 109, then I think this cycle's over. Just because we don't really want to live below the daily cloud again or the 20-week moving average this late in the cycle. You just don't want to be living out there. So we got a little room, we got some time, but man, we do not want to be down there assuming the cycles are intact. Now, if the cycles aren't intact, then who cares, right? We can go up, down, sideways, do whatever we want. One would think that because of how far and fast gold moved, that BTC will have a move here eventually. So everybody's going to have an opinion, and you just have to trade your own book, right? Have some intelligent stop losses. Don't get over levered. Trade breakouts intelligently. Stuff like that. But yeah, it's certainly been a pretty gross range to barely break all-time highs 3 times now and get smacked down. Not exactly fun. Not exactly fun. Not exactly fun. Yeah, maybe we should just all open puts when I open when I start the day of the stream, no matter what it is. Unbelievable, dude. So on the cloud, we do have the Kijun at 117, 116.8. There's a few levels here, but these are certainly must hold. We also had the weekly Bollinger Bands, which we started to break out from. Really haven't broken out from them yet. So this is recoverable. It doesn't help when we get these headlines and trade wars, World War III, whatever people are implying with all this stuff. But I still think it makes more sense to push the long side than anything. If it's going to happen, if the moves are going to happen, they're going to happen in October, November, December, just statistically. So to me, it makes sense to push the long side still. Gold should be ripping higher. I mean, gold's the problem with gold is like the gold bugs think it is a safety debasement trade, which it is, but when it turns into a momentum trade, then it behaves differently, right? And it clearly has been a momentum trade with a debasement tailwind for the past couple weeks now, right? Since Jackson Hole. As bad as the day in NQ, lower unit. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. If you want me to look at anything, let me know. Yeah, I don't really understand the fascination with Zcash. I mean, I get it. People are just chasing whatever's moving. I don't know. It's nothing I'm ever going to trade. BNB is similar. It's probably nothing I'm ever going to trade. So it can go to 5,000, but it's going to do that without me. Give no thought to the type of Rivian setups. Nope. Just a long-term trade. Don't want it making lower lows. That's about it. That's as much as I think about it. BitDeer, yeah, the miners are still holding up decently well today. We'll do another hold on, let me just add we'll do a fresh list. Move this down. There we go. Oh. There we go. AAOI. Yeah, the problem here is like you kind of need stuff to settle down. BTC is just puking. That's kind of what it does. No matter what on negative news or perceived negative news. Yeah, where were the bats, man? Bats just disappeared. Can't win a game if you can't score runs. That's it. That's really it. Big Bear. I think we looked at Big Bear last time. Yeah, oddly, I think like the vaporware stuff, like Rigetti, is holding up decently well today, right? It's only down it's only down 3%, right? Couldn't even tell. Alts absolutely smoked across the board for the most part. LTC holding up near, but everything else awful, right? Just looks real bad. Real bad. Pro cycling. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff has gotten overheated outside of BTC. I wouldn't argue BTC is overheated. I wouldn't argue alts are overheated. All this stuff is still waiting to break out, in my opinion. Look at my whole list. Whole list is red. MSTR, I don't think it's a buy, to be crystal clear, but it's holding up better than BTC here, for whatever that's worth. Galaxy, I think it's a bit late if you think your targets are 47 to 71. You know, all this is just, what is your tolerance and risk reward? The longer I do stuff like this, the harder it is for me to describe stuff to people because they're going to have some opinion that may end up being correct, but it's not something I would expect. So it's not something I'm like pricing in to any models on targets, right? So like if you think Galaxy's going to 120, what do you care about my $71 target, right? It's like the people with Hood who thought early on that it's going back to the IPO price. Now, I was bullish on it, to be clear. I don't know if I was that bullish on it at 12, right? But, you know, so there's an argument to be made where you just always are holding anything that you think has continuation potential, regardless of whatever anybody else says. It's just a matter of your own personal preference, right? So yeah, like some of this stuff still has room. Miners have done well. Thanks, Michael. Futoshi, what is your opinion of holding BITU? Yeah, the leverage stuff So again, it's like, what do I like to do? I like to hold leverage when it's favorable for momentum. So if I'm still holding leverage today, I'm not cutting it yet, but just to be clear, I haven't cut any of the calls that opened slightly higher than this. Haven't cut any of the BITU that I opened slightly higher than this. I don't like buying on mega blood here when we're just like randomly meandering. TA on this isn't great. If we go to IBIT, it's probably clearer. IBIT right on the keygen there. So if you are a believer in the bounce, this is the spot where the cloud says, here's better than 70, which was better than 72. I just don't know. Let's bring this all back. I don't even know what this could end up looking like, right? It's just so noisy. Like, what pattern could this morph into? I don't know. A cup and handle, I guess. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. And to go back to ETH, nobody's asked me about it, but what makes the most sense for ETH is, a month of sideways. ETH, this doesn't look good for ETH. I mean, this looks way worse than BTC, just to be clear. That's what you'd expect. You'd expect ETH to look worse. It's beta to BTC, but this is an inverted cup and handle now. It's in the cloud. ETH BTC looks much worse than this, and it's just not time. it's just not time for alts still, right? You get this brief period, or you've gotten brief periods where you have TA plus whatever else on your side, DATs, flows from ETFs. But you really got to be nimble about it, Because if you were longing ETH at above 4K, what are you thinking here, right? Are you thinking, man, I'm just hoping for the best? I guess you have to. I don't know. Doesn't look great. So many reasons the cycle effect is lower weighting relative to. Yeah, we can say this cycle's different, fine, but we're 1,100 days in almost from the bottom. Don't have the momentum. You got to start picking some stuff up here. The difficult part, back to BTC, is if we're just hanging out at 0 on the month for October, come Halloween time, then what do you do? Nothing? Do you just hope for the best? Again, this is a personal question. I can't answer this for you. I'm not going to sell any of my cold storage here. I could care less, right? I'll be here forever. So let it go back down to 70, whatever. That's fine. The levels for me to sell are much higher than this. So I don't care about that. But from a trading perspective, trading wallet, whatever, your partitions, your buckets, if I'm trading this, I'm out below the cloud. I just can't. You can't stand that, personally. Where do I expect BTC to bottom? I mean, you don't want it. You don't want it below 114. I can tell you that. And we kind of just need to see. What I'm honestly hoping for is that we get a massive outflow from the ETFs. That's usually a very good sign. Fidelity is probably going to be negative because whoever is trading that has a massive momentum algo on that. So my guess is FBTC is going to be deeply red today or Monday on the flows. If IBIT's red, that's typically a good sign that we've bottomed. But other than that, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, here comes Nuanda's list. The real list. The list of all lists. VRT, AMKR. VRT. So yeah, I don't necessarily love anything here. Personally. BW, what's that? The other thing is Trump could over the weekend like reverse everything he said and just forget about it, right? Like, who knows? He might look at what's happening in the market and change his mind, you know? I got Nwanda's other list from last week. Should we see how he did? I think we have to. BT. Let's take a look at those first. All right, let's take a look. UAVS, I'm still holding this, just a tiny amount. I still like how I like the structure. I like that this thing is died, right? Like it's just for years died. So you're battling like, okay, it started to break out and didn't, and now what do I do? Versus this could do something maybe because it's been dead for years. So personal choice on that one. ETCMY, I said this was too illiquid, but it's kind of holding its range. Nothing I'd trade here. ARQQ AI, or yeah, Quantum. Just kind of hanging out. Really nothing to say. SMTK, ranging, D-Dog, pulling back a little bit after breaking out. Edit down, Upexi. Most of the DATs aren't going to look good here if the underlying is negative. So, you know, you can't expect, if these are levered, in this case ETH or SOL, they're not going to look better than the underlying. That's why it's weird that MSTR is slightly better than BTC here, but I don't see anything there. NUKK holding up okay. Nucleus. QMCO, I still like how this looks. I'm still holding this one. You know, it might break out and fail. Mara did this a few months ago here, where like it broke out, gave it all back. It's up above the cloud again. Such is the game, you know. This is why you don't trade garbage companies like Marathon, but personal preference, personal choice. Good things happen above the cloud. Butterfly Network pulled back a bunch after breaking out. So that was his list last week. Kind of mixed, but so is the market. Let's go this week. BT, miner. Yeah, it has a chance, especially if you're a Bitcoin miner that is at least sniffing AI, like they're getting into it or they're talking about getting into it. Which, why wouldn't you if watching all the companies around you explode? You have to be thinking about that. I don't know if they are, to be clear, but that would help them get out of this range. So personal preference, I like it better above 460. Xena, the heck? Okay. Little Adam and Eve action, little ascending triangle. Biotech has done well. I don't know if this is biotech, but biotech stuff has done well recently. CMTL, yeah, more curling up above the cloud. I like it. IMVT, another biotech by the looks of it, or medical. Not bad. Just kind of consolidating down here. Not bad. NTR, kind of a mess. Weekly looks good. I like this on the weekly. So it depends how much, do you want your entire portfolio? Some people are only trading shitcoins, right? Their whole portfolio is memes. So they don't care. But do you want your entire portfolio just based on setups, or do the sectors matter? Something to consider. You know, commodities have done well, AI has done well. Biotech appears to be turning the corner. Tilray down 17% today. um, we talked about this last week because it's like right at the weekly. It doesn't look bad. I just don't know what the entry would look like. I think you still want this on a weekly close above the cloud. So we're not quite there yet, but close. Very, very close. BW, I think, was this somebody else? Yeah, somebody else. No idea what this is. Looks fine, but it looks late. I don't like an entry all the way up here. AMKR, same deal. Looks fine, but it looks late for an entry. BRT, a lot of people talking about this one. This had a inverted head and shoulders breakout this week. Looks good. Now it's similar to Galaxy. Anything ever that looks like this over months, you got to take it seriously. If you measure this out, decent move, right? Decent move. Don't hate it. Just getting started. You know, contrast that with Galaxy. Two completely different industries, I'm pretty sure, but you know, Galaxy's a little bit farther along in the move there. Yeah, the rare earth stuff is another one that's done really well. It's just tough. It's like, do you want to hold this for a core part of your portfolio for whatever percent, or do you trade this and just take what you got and say thank you? I don't see an entry up here personally. Tons of headlines, obviously, on rare earth stuff. I just don't see a great entry at the moment on that one. Should we talk about crypto for a little bit? We'll talk about crypto. No one's really asking me about crypto. It's funny. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. Yeah, I'm with you, Lord Viper. I'm not touching Zcash either. Yeah, should we start with the miners? Because at least they have a pulse. All the other stuff is kind of dead. Just catching up with chat, blah, blah, blah. Miner, okay. Everybody wants to look at the miners. Let's take a look. Yes, Clean Spark looks good. Glow, I don't know what Glow is. What is that? Glow? Opportunities Fund. I don't know what it is, but it looks good. Looks like a bond looks like ag, you know? What's funny is HYG, which is junk bonds, started breaking down this week before all this nonsense. So there was certainly a divergence, and you only know this if you're watching HYG, right? Most people are not watching HYG, to be clear. But it's something to monitor. Previously, it had, you know, this is basically the S&P, right? It basically correlates pretty well with the S&P, but just as a risk metric, S&P's down under 2% today. Not a bad day. Like, yeah, it's red. Yeah, it's down 2%, but in the grand scheme of things, it's up whatever it's up since April, right? Like, I don't know. People are flipping out on the legacy side, probably. To crypto, this is nothing, you know? All right, let's take a look at miners. WGMI, way outside the pitchfork. So the pitchfork goes all the way back to 2022. I liked, and still do, I like this pitchfork because it really captured the at least the pre-AI stuff really, really well. You could argue it's a little less relevant here because of the AI stuff, or you could say it doesn't matter. This is just technicals. If we add what would this be like? If we had like a maximum, if this was the maximum oversold, then we're certainly in that maximum overbought, just based on relatively from what we've seen. I don't actually know. I don't think there's a better way to draw this. Like this doesn't do anything for us, does it? No. Yeah. And this is a huge move. It's a 5x since April. Almost a 6x since April. So the index is probably not a place that looks like an entry, in my opinion. It's done great, right? It's done really, really well. So from here, you're looking for laggards that could move, right? Some of these are laggards, again, back tomorrow. Some of these are laggards that are unlikely to do well unless they change their business model. So you have to be careful with that. Just assuming like, oh, all these miners are up 25% in a month. This one's stuck in the mud. It's going to move. I would disagree. IREN certainly done the best of all of them. I don't see an entry here. You know, is this bearish? No, but if you're a setups guy, if you're a trader, do you like calls here? No. Do you like puts here? Probably not. Like, it's still volatile to the upside. Do you trim? Probably. But you could have said that at any point at 30, 40, 50, and now it's at 60, right? So for me, like on Bitfarms, I sold half on a double and I'm just holding it. And it's doing whatever it's doing, right? So just, that's about as far as I go. When you get lucky like that, most of the time you're better off just selling half on a double and doing nothing. Because you never know. You never know. Clearly, whatever happened with Bitfarms and IREN, well beyond technicals to guess that this thing would go from 1 to 5, you know, at least on this specific chart, that certainly wasn't there that I could see. So Bitfarms, IREN seem late. Marathon, I would put in the do not touch bucket personally. Cores of all of them is probably my favorite from a setups perspective because it has died, bounced, reconsolidated, and it's right at the breakout level. So for me, it doesn't get more complicated than that. It's like, what is the risk reward here based on the setup? If there's no setup, I don't touch it. If there's a setup and it just started to break out, I like it a lot. So of the things I'm holding right now, Bitfarms and Cores are the only two personally that I'm holding, and I'm only holding Bitfarms because I've been holding it for a long time. But the others, like IREN, I missed on those entries. You know, the 3 best entries are back here for anything that goes parabolic. So just it's late. That's all. Clean spark. Probably still early enough. And we had talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that if this thing can get the inverted head and shoulders, then it should continue to do well. They pivoted to HPC-ish, you know. I think just talking about it, I don't actually know how deep they are on the data center side, but just talking about it is enough. So I still like the upside potential here. I don't think it's too late. And it certainly looks better than Marathon, you know. It certainly looks better than Marathon. BitDeer looks fine. It looks fine. It's just like, you know, you didn't, at this point, if you didn't catch it at 15, what do you do at 19? What do you do at 20? Just feels a little late, kind of like in the middle based on the technicals, right? But if you think, again, if you think this is going to 100, what do you care if this is at 20? Overall, it looks fine. Bullish, right? But you better hope that there's some reason that this would have a catch-up move in it still relative to IREN and Bitfarms. Wolf. So Wolf broke the bearish divergence, which is good. I still would have never touched this thing. You know, I'm sure I'm getting people saying, "Oh man, rising wedges are bullish, man. They're so bullish." They're bullish if they break up, but I don't think you can trade them as such before they break. No div here, but again, you're a little late. You're just a little late. This thing's gone from 2 to 13. It's up 600%. IREN is up 1,000% in a couple months. You just have to be mindful of that. You know, you're going to have people, you're going to have employees of these businesses selling on top of you. As long as you think there's more buyers behind that, fine. But the technical is not exactly on your side when it's up this much. Cypher also talked about for multiple weeks, and farther along than Galaxy, there's a divergence here a little bit. Lower high in RSI, higher high in price. The TA target, the measured move, is in sight as far as the zone you'd expect. This is good news for ETH. I mean, this is like the 7 to 10K level for ETH. Similar pattern. We can even add it. If we go move to left scale, and we make it smaller, right? I think you can see that on the stream. So ETH followed the same path. It's just stuck at the loading dock, you know, on the breakout. Whereas Cypher hit the target. So that's good news for ETH. That stuff like this is still breaking out. If we add uranium to this, same story. Let's go, right? Very similar chart, very similar pattern, similar setup, similar breakout. And it is at its measured move equivalent, you know, however you want to look at this on the correlation. But if you pull up uranium individually, you'll see it. So look, dreams do come true. This can happen for ETH. It just hasn't happened yet. But it's happening all over the place. All over the place. When will you and Ledger other... I don't know, is Ledger... I don't know if he's even in crypto anymore, is he? Yeah, VRT does look great. So point is, believe in the heart of the cards, Yugi. The pattern is there for ETH. If this is an ETH waiting room, we are seeing it happen for other people, you know, other people being other stocks, other equities. So I don't like an entry here just because the move already happened, right? Just like uranium, if we pull up that individually. I love the story of uranium. I think we need an infinite amount of it. I just think if you're trading this, there's your level. I don't know. Like as a trader, I don't have anything else to do here. Caught the breakout. We hit the level. So for Cypher, you know, again, sell half on a double, leave it. It's a great strategy. Hut. Is this, how close does, this kind of looks like Solana. I know I keep talking about that. A little bit. Kind of, sort of. Not really. Anyway. I don't mean, what do you do? It's parabolic, it's super noisy. I don't have a great answer. And this is the argument for the the basket, the ETF, because you just don't have to think about it, right? You're like, okay, well, maybe some of these are overbought, but at least I'm getting a little slice of everything. Or you just create your own basket, and that's fine too. Hive breaking out in a big way. A little late, certainly, but it's just breaking out this week. Again, compare this to Mara. Compare every chart I just looked at to Mara and ask yourself why. Until that thing breaks out, there's no reason to trade that, in my opinion. Even Riot's breaking out. So there's lots of stuff to trade that isn't garbage. Lots of stuff out there. Your thought on holding a 20% beta? I don't know what that means. Could you elaborate? Yeah, another thing you can do is people are mentioning, like, look at Iron over Cypher. Like, if you want to get rotation happy after selling half on a double, and then, you know, this is the miner story over the past couple of months is a great example of what you want alts to be doing. You want them slowly going parabolic one by one so that you get 20 different trades. Like, if you're really paying attention to miners, as some people were, they're just killing it. They're killing it right now. Absolutely killing it. So that's what you want alt season to be. Bitcoin's rising wedge. If you're talking about, what can I even pull up for this? I guess this. Are you talking about this? The rising wedge that has no touches? There's that. I see people draw this and I'm like, okay, like you're touching nothing for a couple of years, but okay. You know, I'd be more concerned with just this channel situation, which is basically the pitchfork, right? Congrats, you just drew a pitchfork and I have that over here and we look fine. You know, it's just snaking in and out of the levels here, really nothing to do. The best time, if you're trading the pitchfork, the best trades to look for are at the midpoint or the extremes. So we're not really at either of those here, you know, nor do I want us to get to 105. But there's a chance if we go to 78, we'd bounce. It's just I don't think anybody wants to watch that happen. So I like pitchfork over falling or rising wedge. DXY needs to chill. Yeah, I did. I rotated a little gold into UUP. UUP is a directional USD bet. Same reason as always. Chart looks good. Pattern is there. You get a yield on top of this. So it's directional plus yield is what this is. 4.7%. Does it make sense logically that you'd sell gold and buy dollars here? Not really, but it's just gold is up. Gold is up what it's up, right? It's turned into a momentum trade. The best thing for BTC is that it consolidates. And like it's done. Like that's really good for BTC. It's great to see this huge move. But if we want BTC to move in Q4, we need gold to just take a chill pill here. Gold is also super far away from Kijun here, super far away from the Tenkin. You're getting a TKC clamp. There are lots of reasons, add volume to this discussion. Lots of reasons why gold probably takes a breather for a minute. Doesn't have to be done, but it probably isn't going to continue at the rate of change it had been moving, is my guess. So I think if you've done well with gold and the trading pile, again, if you're holding gold for long-term reasons, that's not what we're talking about. Lots of people get super angry on Twitter. You know, you shit talk gold. You're like, oh man, gold is topped, bro. Man, they come after you. They find you. It's like, no, it's a trade. If it's a trade for you, you're probably a seller up here, right? If IREN is a trade for you, you probably have been a seller for a little while. So from a trader's perspective, yeah, this looks a little long in the tooth up here for sure. We're on everything, Lazarus. Stocks. Nobody cares about crypto here. My TA is unmatched. I don't know about that, but thank you. Yeah, there was a large whale that opened a short yesterday. Tau, LTC. I mean, there's some stuff. Like, this is not the day. It's great that LTC is green. It's great that it's up. It's great that it was moving. It's great that it had volume. But this is not the day you want something trying to move up, you know? Like when literally the world is melting down. Just because it's very hard for anything to do well. Now the good news is, if and when the world stops melting down, this may continue to outperform. But it's hard for anything to do well today, you know? So it's just funny that it's the day LTC tries to make a multi-month high that the world is melting down. I don't know if ETH will catch a bid, Rowdy, but my point is, if you're trading ETH to the long side, you have to assume it will. We can compare Dell versus ETH is another one. What you want to look for are what are the highly correlated charts relative to ETH and what are they doing? Are they breaking up? Are they breaking down? Is the correlation decoupling? If you look at ETH versus Dell, again, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. It could be anything. I don't care. Like if you're correlated 100%, it's worth paying attention. ETH broke out a little bit ahead of Dell in July, kind of decoupled a little bit. But for much of the time, these two have been very correlated. So it's good to see Dell breaking out. How do you trade? That's the question, right? Personal preference. I don't like ETH here until it's back above the daily cloud. It's as simple as that. So I love it at, what's the price? Whatever the bullish TK recross price above cloud. Maybe that's 44, maybe that's 46, maybe that's 48. But until that point, it just doesn't make sense for me to trade it. But similar to uranium and Cypher, if you're not actively watching this stuff, maybe just dollar cost average, right? Just very, very dependent on what you're doing personally. Because it looks good. It looks like it wants to go to 8K. It does. Everything else that looks like this has broken up. So it's tough because it still looks good in the longer term. In the short term, it looks like junk. I know, it's like today's Thursday. It's like Groundhog's Day for Thursday because the dump is so bad. So bad. Tau is the other one. I thought I had on my list, but maybe not. But like, you know, is today the day you want this breaking up? No, it's good that it did break up, but it would be more advantageous if this just didn't, you know, if this just did nothing and then broke up on a different day. That's the only problem. Why do people get mad when I call Mara garbage? I don't know. Like, if I talk badly about somebody's position, they think it's personal or something. It's not, obviously. I don't care. Like, everybody makes money you know, everybody loses money most of the time, makes money some of the time. I don't know. Yeah, coin. I'm kind of just like, whatever. I'm just hoping the seasonality stuff pulls up. As long as Bitcoin's above 110, I'm just non-caring about losing money here. Coin still is above the cloud, bullish TK cross. Like none of that has changed. This has to look a lot worse. It has to get below 340, 340. So yeah, I could give all that back, but I'm not really worried about it. It still looks okay. You know, you just got to give this stuff a chance, in my opinion. Thanks for calling by. Cycle over is not all bad news. Diminishing returns. Yeah, I don't think the cycle's over so much as people are just used to a certain degree of price action, and we're seeing not that. So they're just under the assumption that it won't ever happen again or whatever. We just have to wait our turn. Have to wait our turn. I don't know. Like, I'm still bullish. I'm still bullish Q4. If this was going on in Q1 26, I'd say, yeah, it's probably over. But I think we still got a little time. Elf? Oh, as in, yeah, how's that doing? I cut that the other day. It wasn't going anywhere. Still looks okay. A little double toppy. It's above the clouds, above the neckline. Anything below 123 is not where you want it to be. But it still looks okay in the grand scheme of things. I mean, this thing took basically a year to consolidate, right? So you have to give it some time. Not just saying that because it hasn't gone anywhere, but you have to give this stuff some time, you know? I still think it looks okay. RS, he's tried to shill his IBIT calls 3 times now. He's trying to get you to buy IBIT calls. I bet you he's buying IBIT puts. I bet you. Was not crypto supposed to be a safe haven? Yeah, the problem with people who have bought crypto recently, have bought Bitcoin recently, they don't necessarily have it in the safe haven bucket. I'm guessing it's sort of like last in, first out in their portfolio, probably, where it's like, you know, I'm sure a certain percentage of people are buying this with long-term capital, but the traders, the tourists, are certainly not. You know, they are looking at this saying, okay, if momentum reverses, I'm gone. So to the people who are here, it's safe haven. They don't care. But try telling that to the people who just got here 5 minutes ago. Yeah, palladium, how are the metals doing? That was somewhere on my list. Here we go. Oil down 4%. The doomers are going to tell you that means a recession. This is a global recession indicator, bro. I don't know. I don't really care. Doesn't bother me either way. Gold's 4K, whatever. We looked at that a bunch. Silver. It's tough to call a top. This is the TA target. I'll say that. The TA target. This is the top of the range. Now it could continue, but I'm not a buyer of silver up here, I can tell you that. This is just like gold. It's starting. If this flatlines for another week, you'll get a pretty decent TKC clamp there. It's just telling you this is overbought and momentumless. You're also getting a little bit of a bear div. You also have a tweezer top there. Is there a tweezer top on Rigetti? I was looking at this the other day. Not. It broke through that. So yeah, I don't think silver's a buy here. This is platinum and palladium. So platinum and palladium way farther along than just palladium. Palladium just started to break out this week. So back to this idea of rotation, like you've got people rotating on the miners, you've got people rotating on metals, right? They're just going, they're taking profit in gold and buying silver, taking profit in silver, buying copper, taking profit in copper, buying aluminum, platinum, palladium. Eventually the music stops, but clearly there's been rotation. Or you're just getting people who are like, oh my God, the 5 other metals moved. This one's next, right? Some of them are going to be right. Some of them are going to be Mara, or they just don't go anywhere. But yeah, this looks great. Still looks great. Absolutely. Just started to break out. If we want a measured move on this, it's close, but you can also say 50% of the range. Also kind of close. 150. I don't know. Like if I'm looking for something, this over silver, it's this. Absolutely. This over GDX, just like the silver trade. This thing is deep, deep into the target zone. No div on that yet, but I'd be careful with that one. Fundamentals driving this price action. U.S. president threatening tariffs in a bigger way on China. I don't know. Yeah, Orange Man. Yeah, my thoughts on BTC are not great that it's back in the range, but it's still close to all-time highs. So the world's just melting down, right? Denny's also an IBIT calls. You'd see all these people out here. They're like, man, I just bought IBIT calls today. I'm a genius, man. Join me, man. I don't really care about long-short ratios personally. What about the cycle to 550? I don't know about that. I mean, we can pull up the... This is the thing I'm talking about. We'll pull it up. So if you compare the previous 2 cycles, this is day 1053, 1059, 1067 from the low. How do you read that? What do you do with that? Well, you know, if we start to nose her down, not a good sign to be doing that this late in the cycle. So you just have to mute all your expectations and be realistic, you know? Thank you for everything, dude. Tell your channel I bought TE on the 19th. TE, you know, these reviews, these testimonials are so good. People are going to think I'm paying people to say this stuff. What's TE? Energy? Okay. Yeah, I mean, we clearly looked at this a couple times. That's what it's all about. Catching something on the breakout. Clearly this is like a theme in the market right now with AI data centers, anything energy related, anything utility related. Cycle top timeline. Like we could still, if we pull up this, where is it? I gotta find it. If liquidity was down, gold was down, rates are going up, like that is a different conversation. So we have the macro backdrop for bullish continuation. I don't think anybody would argue that. Why does this look weird? Whatever. I don't think anybody would argue that. In the past, we have seen outsized moves at the end of the cycle. We're now at the end of the cycle and have not seen an outsized move. So everyone's expecting an outsized move to the upside, including myself. So we still have some time. We have 3 months to figure it out. But if we bleed into 2026 and we're still here, what are people going to do? I don't know. Psychologically, do people start selling anyway? Because they're just like, all right, you know, cycle's over. Is the cycle just going to disintegrate? Is it going to extend? Right? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. The only definitive end to the cycle, in my opinion, would be new lower lows on the daily or the outsized move higher. So until that point, it's very hard to say what's going on here, cycle-wise. But yeah, I like 250. I still like 333. Absolutely. So if you think there's a 3x, there's a chance at a 3x return versus risk here, or risk versus reward, I don't know. Seems like a long to me. How do I analyze ratings? I ignore them. Doesn't have to be outsized. It could just move like it's supposed to. I guess, it hasn't, we have not seen what we have seen historically, period. So that's why people are waiting, they're waiting. And we may not see it. We can pull up, there's this really weird ETH, here it is. Was this the one I was thinking of? Maybe? ETH log regression. See, like this for ETH, at this point, this model, do you say this is done? Do you say it's broken? Or do you expect this to break out? Like, let's say the power law dissolves, right? Like, where does it dissolve? How do you trade that? This does not look good for the log curve model on ETH. So, just something to think about. I don't have an answer. Nothing would make me more elated than the 4-year cycle just dissolving and no one ever talking about it ever again. That would be the best case scenario. Kevin, he's trying to get my alpha. He's trying to extract the alpha. What coins do you think are going to do well soon, bro? BTC first, ETH, Sol next, everything else to follow that. That's my guess. So until BTC wakes up, which it started to. Yeah, people have talked about that. The 4-year cycle is different because of the ETFs. Like we can think about all the ways it's different, but until it's actually different, I think it's very hard to say that with conclusive thoughts, right? Like the other part of this is like, who cares what's happening now? Just hold it for another 4 years and find out, right? Like, and if you don't have all the BTC you ever wanted or the ETH you've ever wanted, and you're here for another 4 years or more, you're hoping that this goes lower. But that's not most people. All right, let's do a few more stonkeries and get out of here. I'm sure I missed a bunch. I don't think, let's see, Roku. Yeah, Roku still looks good. It just hasn't really broken out yet, but I think it's fine. I'm holding some Roku. I think it looks okay. AMD, yeah, I don't know about AMD. It's tough because like back here, the technicals made total sense. Pattern, cloud breakout, you hit the level. Then recently you're getting like these insane headlines like the government's buying and SoftBank is buying and whoever, right? That's way harder to trade in my opinion because that's just literally anything. Who knows? So from here, I don't know. As a trader, I don't touch this. Like, what else? You know, what's your expectation that they're going to become Nvidia? That's fine, but that is not like a technical outlook that you can overlay on this, in my opinion. There's just, I don't know what you do with this here. I don't know. I got nothing. I got nothing on that one. Do we look at the Mag 7 stuff? I guess the Qs, what do the Qs look like? Down 2.7. Giving back a week. Okay. Mags, this had been setting up for a breakout, but pulled back. It's the Mag 7 ETF. Just pull up. Nvidia looks okay, but I just think most people, again, they're like, this thing is up 1,000,000,000%. Maybe I throw my money at something else. So I just think it's hard for this to keep going, regardless of headlines. Apple caught up a bunch, whatever. I don't know. I don't have an opinion there. Microsoft, I have a feeling if we do keep going, there's going to be a really great trade here with the bullish TK recross. It's just not yet. Not yet. Meta had a cup and handle and it didn't go anywhere. Now it's just in the cloud, so no trade on that one. Netflix, just ranging. Nothing to do there. Amazon, I'm still holding this. I'm going to continue holding this. I don't care what price this is. I just like the chart. So that's that on that one. Google definitely feels late. I don't see a trade there. So far it's just Microsoft. Tesla also super late. No trade there yet. Uber, nothing to do. Rivian, really don't want this below 12. I think below 12, I just never look at this chart again. But until that point, I'm a bag holder. I'm a community member. Lucid, no. So, I don't know. I don't really have much to say today, honestly. We looked at a bunch of stuff. It's tough. It's tough. Am I a gamer? I do play some games. I do enjoy a game or two. Whenever I'm looking at this versus that, I always just do a relative value chart. So this would favor MIN over REMX based on the TA. Bullish min over REMX. Is this a dip for ants? It's a dip. It's a dip for somebody. It's a dip for those IBIT calls. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Is this a stock UI path? Path. Okay. Yeah, I've seen people talking about this one. It's always tough when you've got this. You've got this huge multi-year range. It looks good-ish. You just have to be patient. It looks fine. It's just, do you want to get stuck in this range? Where are you adding? Where are you cutting? Where are you taking profit? Like if your levels are 50 to 70 and you're patient, then I think you're loving this. But if you're like hoping for some quick move, I think you're going to be disappointed. SMR is nuclear, right? Yeah. SMR, is this the one I traded? Why does it look different? I think this is one of them that I was in and out of. This would be like the nuclear version of a catch-up trade. I don't know if this company's vaporware. I don't know if Oklow's vaporware, but probably. From a technical perspective, though, you're almost there on the bullish TK recross. it's still like a 2x from here if you hit that zone. It's a really good sign if you're canceling head and shoulders like that. Oklo, not that anybody asked me, but also feels late. You still got a zone, but it's like, you know, it's moved, right? It did its thing. MP, yeah, I was looking at this one this week too. Is that a new all-time high? I think so. This is in like the rare earth conversation. This is a really compelling inverted head and shoulders. Now it is up whatever percentage this year. What is this? 300. It's already up 300% in a couple months. But the difference between this and like the minor, the IRENs or the ciphers, is it has been ranging for a couple months. The pattern looks real, looks good, and it is breaking up. So yeah, I like it. I like it. TWI. Probably the worst chart we looked at today. Oh, outside of alts, you know, it's just bottom of a range. Not great. AMKR. Looks good, but late. I think we pulled this one up earlier. Or, yeah, didn't we? Somewhere? Looks really familiar. Looks like one of the other charts. Can I shout out Zyron? Sure. What's up, Zyron? Lucid. Yeah, Lucid we just peeked at for a second. I think it's got a pretty good diag to just wait for. So a little early on that one. Not quite ready. Still in the oven. Yeah, XPEV. I had a alert trigger on this week with that higher high. Like it looks, if not here, then when? You know, it's like at the level. It's at the horizontal. It looks good. It just, you know, do you nibble? Do you wait for the breakout? I tend to wait for the breakout, but it's there. It's definitely there. Oh, bio. Orchestra Biomed Holdings. Interesting. Lots of biotech stuff. Trying to bottom. One that I've been kind of watching is LabU. This is 3x biotech ETF. Kind of looks like Cypher, the miner. I don't know. I don't know what you do with this, but super volatile, obviously. OBio did look good. All right, I think we're gonna end it there. JD, last one. That's a yikes. Second worst chart we've looked at today. I think because it's China, right? Anything China is just getting obliterated right now. I closed CQQQ today at a minor gain. Such is life. Such is life. So anyway, that's all I got for this one. Do you stay in or out? I don't know. It's up to you. But I closed my CQQQ today. I just, you know, it's up a lot. The TA justification is there. You broke a fractal. Ugly day. You could argue rebuying the Kijun, but if this is going to be like an extended, protracted China thing, then not something you want to live in my opinion. Yeah, let's hope for everybody's sake that this does not break up. This is inverse BTC. All right, that's all I got for this one.